Hello everyone, my name is Bashar Masad from MKN Group. This video is about the UCM6200, like 6202, 6204. And this is like, there's another version of this video which is shorter. This one is kind of like more details, kind of like going over different possibilities and different scenarios. I would like, first of all, to let all of you guys know that this is not an endorsement to the Grandstream PPX system nor to their phones, because after every video I post, I get emails, people saying we have problems, blah blah blah. So it's just for training. If you already have the Grandstream, you already bought it, so I'm gonna use this video to set it up. And again, I really don't recommend the Grandstream PPX system anymore. We've been selling it for a few years, and we get some negative feedback from resellers and from customers. So again, this is just for training. We actually do recommend some other PPXs. So for example, this is an OEM version of Zyco, and Lucid Phone is one of our brands at MKN Group. So these PPXs are based on Asterisk, which is the same as Grandstream, but the interface is much simpler, much easier to deal with. It comes with two versions, one with 2 FXOs, one with 4 FXOs. The big difference is the 3-year warranty. Like Grandstream, you get 1-year warranty. This one has 3 years warranty and lifetime support. So this is one of the options. You can go with other PPXs in the market. But again, if you bought the Grandstream, you want to stick with the Grandstream, that's fine. We can do that. As you see here on the top of the screen, it's VoIP Time is our brand for VoIP services. We have this plan which is $45 per month. It gives you 10 channels. That means 10 concurrent calls and 1 free DID. And again, most likely this video and the other short version of this video will be enough for you to program your PPX and get it up and running. If you need any help, we do offer installation, of course, remotely, and support remotely for the Grandstream PPX and other PPXs. It depends on how many extensions do you have and all that stuff. We offer 1 year warranty, including the initial installation and setup, and that's for $365. That's like $1 a day. If you don't want go with that, we can charge you per hour. It varies between it's around $100 per hour for installation and support. Again, also if you want to look at other offers for its VoIP Time service, you can go to www.itsvoiptime.com, and you can see all the plans there. We have actually 3 plans, and you can subscribe to a plan here directly by using your credit card, PayPal, or whatever. Okay, so let's start here. One of the new things that Grandstream have done is they have now the password on a label on the back of the device, because many people they lose the password, and if you reset it to factory setting, you're gonna lose everything. And the other thing is, some people, they actually keep the manufacturer password, and in the past it used to be admin, username admin, password admin. So hackers will love that and will get into your system. So in all cases, this one I have changed the password to a simpler one, so I can log in and out. And I'm gonna log in now. Okay, so the first thing I have done before I started this video is go to the system settings, then go to network settings, and this is my preferred method. Some people like try to use it a different way, use this as a router. I use it as a switch. And then I put a static IP for the PPX. And then, you know, put my gateway, DNS server, all that stuff. It's already done, so I can access it. I have many questions from people saying, do I have to give static IP addresses to the PPX? With Grandstream, you actually do not, but it's highly recommended, especially if you're using external extensions. Also, like, you know, it's much easier if you want to use a non-Grandstream phone. Actually, you have to have it a static IP if you want to use a non-Grandstream phone into the system. If you're using Grandstream phones, you know, the zero config feature will be able to find them. But I highly recommend using a static IP for your PPX, not necessarily to use it for the phones. Phones can be on DHCP. Okay. So let's start here, and again, this is going to be in details. If you get bored, like, you know, you can go to the shorter version, and it goes quickly over the basic thing. But here, because many people, they want to like more information in details, no rush, so that's why I have this video. So first thing, usually when you create, when you start programming a PPX, is to get the trunk up and running. You can have VoIP, analog trunks. I'm not gonna work on analog trunks, but basically the 6202 has two ports, 1 and 2. You can use them as an analog trunk. You can use one of them, you can use both of them on the same trunk, or you can use one port per trunk. But here, you know, the focus is VoIP, so I'm not gonna make any analog trunk. The VoIP trunk, so you can have IAX. We're gonna focus on SIP today, so I'm gonna create a new SIP trunk. There are two ways of connecting the SIP trunk: peer-to-peer and register. Peer, that means your SIP provider must know your public IP address for your system, and of course you must know his IP address, and the communication between you, or in this case your PPX, the UCM, and the provider will be based on IP to IP, no registration. Most of the times there is no username and password, just direct connection. I'm going to use the trunk from its VoIP time here, so I'm going to use it. We can use both of them. By default, we use registration method. It's kind of like easier. You don't have to have static IP. Like many small businesses, they just do not have static IP address with their internet provider. So this one, I mean, the registration method will, like, you don't have to. Provider name, I'm gonna put, of course, Grandstream. This is one of the new things that they started putting here, is have a list of providers. Actually, you don't have to go there. You just put whatever name you want. So I'm gonna put, it's VoIP time, and the host name, our host name is voip.itsvoiptime.com. And keep original CID. That means when you do a call transfer, a call forwarding, anything like that, it's gonna keep the caller ID of the original caller. If you don't put it here, it's gonna send your main number. Keep trunk CID. That means all the time you're gonna send the trunk caller ID. I believe it's really important in many cases. I'm not like a network expert, but I know enough to, you know, have my phone stuff working. So basically NAT, Activating the NAT will help you in this mode, the registration mode. When you register with our server, your router, for outgoing packets, when you make an outgoing, it doesn't make it like outgoing or incoming, but I mean when you talk out, your router will pass the information or the packets to our server. Now, when your other party calls in, of course the packets will come to the router, and router has to send it to the UCM or to the IPPX. NAT will help doing that. So I'm gonna give, if you have a name, you can put the name here. Let's say MKN group. And the username, usually the username we use is the phone number. I'm gonna copy it from the other screen that you don't see. And the password, so I'm going to create a new account for this number on our server. Of course, you don't see what I'm doing. Just I'm adding the number. Okay, and here's the password. Basically, also the authorization ID. It's not required with all servers, but we always just put it. It's not gonna hurt. Sometimes some providers, the username and the authentication ID are different. Some of them, they're exactly the same. Okay, I'm just working a little bit on the server side. I mean our server side to create this account. Perfect. And say that close. And here save. Okay. Apply changes. I'm working on the server side now, adding the DID. Okay, and it's the site. Okay, so I did all the work on our side. So if I go back to the status here, and you know, with this new interface, Grandstream changed it a little bit. So here you see the trunks, and the good excuse me, the good news, it's registered. That means, you know, it's registered with our server. We're ready to make and receive calls. Basically not yet, because you know we have to go and work on the inbound and outbound routes. So this is the first step. We have created the trunk and it is registered. If it is a peer-to-peer, you're not gonna see it registered. Okay, so that's good. And now we move to, let's start with the outbound routes. Outbound routes, basically, it tells you, like, you know, what kind of calls you're going to pass, what kind of calls you don't want to pass. If you have multiple trunks, where you want to pass each call. Like, for example, you use one service for your local and national calls, but you will use another service for your international calls. So you want to make sure when there is an international call, you pass it through the other trunk. And actually, before I do that, I'm going to go and create a few extensions here. The extensions by default, it comes with like 4 digits, as you see. You can change it. I really don't like the 4 digits. It's too much, especially for a small business. So one of the things I do is I go to system settings, actually PBX settings, general settings, and here you like define the user extensions, like from which extension to which extension. Let's use 20 to, let's say, 30. Pick extensions where the extensions actually pick the programming from the UCM. So I'm not going to use that method for now. I'm going to use auto provisioning. So in this case, we're going to use from 20 228, let's say. Conflict with Cole Park. I don't know why it says conflict with Cole Park, because there's no Cole Park here yet. Save. Okay, maybe here I have to put it 29 to 30. Save. Okay, got it. And then apply changes. So the reason why I wanted to create the extensions before I make the outbound route, I just want to show you that you can base your outbound routes on or rules on extension based or on dialing pattern. I'll show you in a minute. So by now I have created the extensions. So I'll go back. Actually, I did not create extension. I just created the like the default extension numbering. So I'm gonna go to extensions now and hit extensions and add. Okay, so it's gonna be set extensions, not FXS, because the UCM has two FXS. You can use like connect an alarm, connect a fax, it's just, or connect a regular analog phone. I'm gonna go with the SIP extensions. Instead of single, I would say batch, and create 5 extensions for me, one incrementation of 1, like start with 20, 21, 22, and start with 20 here. Permission you have from internal all the way to international, and again it's okay, I mean, to look at it as local and national, but it's actually a comparison with the outbound route. So if in the outbound route I say, okay, internal can make or local can make international calls, you can do it. Here, like, they're trying to help you with the naming. So I'm going to put it national for now, all of them. Voicemail password, I'm gonna, like, leave it for now, and you can use voicemail to email. Now, enable keep alive, which is a good feature, especially also when you're using non-Grandstream phones. Skip voicemail password. That means if you're dialing the voicemail from your own extension, it's not going to ask you for the password. And I believe this is a good feature because, like, you don't want to, like, be entering. It's up to you, of course. And this is the password for the extension. Usually, especially if you're gonna use like a non-Grandstream phone, what you need to do is you need to copy this or paste it in the phone. But because we're using Grandstream, there is no need, because we're gonna use the 0 config to push all the configuration. Here, if you want to change any of the, and again, here's the NAT, I recommend using it unless you have some specifications or some specific situation in your network that you don't want to use NAT. Here, if you want to have call forwarding, we're going to come back there if you want to, like, have specific times. But in this case, let me just create. Okay, now always you have to hit apply changes for your changes to take effect. But in this case, as you see now, we see that there were 20, 21, 22, 23, 24. These are extensions available. We did not assign them to phones yet. I'll come back actually to outbound and inbound in a minute. But first, let me go to, where did I put it now? PBX settings. I'm looking for the 0 config. Okay, settings, I don't see 0 config. Okay, so it's under value added features. We go now to 0 config. This is actually a good feature for the Grandstream PPX. So basically, this will scan your network for any Grandstream phone or ATA. And I have 2 Grandstream phones connected. and both of them are GXP2130. As you see, like, you know, the UCM found them. In order to configure them with extensions, I only need to go here and say, let's say account 1 is going to take extension 20. That's like the easiest, quickest way. And then this other phone is going to be extension 21. And as you see, like, as it's 2130, it has 3 accounts, like 3 sublines. I'm going to use one of them. We'll go back to the programming of the function keys. So now we hit apply changes, and okay, so basically it should push the provisioning. Now you see it's not yet, so these are not available. So what I can do is I can go back to value added 0 config. And one of the things I can do is I can push here. It says update. So this will push the configuration to the phone immediately and does not need like for the phone to reboot or anything. Okay, let me... Okay, so when you see under create config there is a date and time, that means the configuration file was created and pushed. So if I go back to extensions, boom, it's idle. That kind of means that these phones are actually connected and ready to be used. And you can see that we have extension, IP address of each phone. So now we have 2 extensions connected and working. Now let's go back to the outbound route. We have now if you try to make a call, it's not going to go through because the system does not know exactly how you want to route your calls. So basically I have to add, and I'm going to call it like the main route pattern. The first important one is 911. You have to make sure that your provider gives you 911. Or if there's a document for you to sign, you have to sign it first. I'm not going to put the 911 now, but basically if you want to be able to call 911 and your provider is telling you yes you can, then you have to put the 911 pattern. But in this case, here's how I like to do it, and this is based on the asterisk. So everybody uses like different method. Mine is very simple. I'm going to use 10 X's, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. That means you can dial 10 numbers or 11. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. Now, if your provider allowing you to make international calls and you're in North America, you put 011 dot. That means I'm going to accept anything starting with 011. If you're like, in UK or anywhere else, you put 00 dot because that's the international code. I'm not going to put that right now because we want to only call 10 digits and 11 digits. There's no password. And here is the most important, which trunk do you want to use? In our case, we only have 1 trunk. But again, as I said before, if you have more than 1 trunk, this trunk is going to be used for local or national calls. And then you may use another trunk for international calling. Okay, so that's basically it. And I'm going to hit save. And now we have the first rule. Now I'm going to create another rule because, many people ask me about, okay, so if I don't want to, because some people use like 7 digits. I don't want to dial the area code. Okay, well, for your provider, most likely is looking for 10 or 11 digits. So here's what I'm going to do. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So if my customer dials 7 digits, that's fine. I'm going to still use this trunk, but I'm going to prepend the area code before sending it to your provider. And I believe the number we've chosen has area code 212, so I'm going to go and put either 212 or even 1212. It doesn't matter, except if your provider actually is looking only for 10 or 11 digits. So we'll hit save. Okay. And now we have these 2 patterns. Now we're ready to make outgoing calls. Now, inbound routes. Inbound routes now, this is like more complicated than outbound, because now call comes in. How do I route the call? Is it going to go to an extension, to a ring group, to an IVR? Where is my call going to go? So here's the thing. We're going to start simple, and then we're going to go more and more complicated. So first of all, let's make an inbound rule a simple one. Of course, it's VoIP time. Pattern, okay. There you have. Pattern is the caller, not the caller ID pattern. It's actually the number that is being sent to you. So in this case, the number will be the main number. And I will explain it more when we have more than one number. So this basically is saying if this number call, if the call, okay, no, I have to say it in a different way. The number that was called, not the caller ID of the caller. Again, the number that was called. Let's say somebody, your customer, is calling you, and the number that was dialed is this one. This is what you do if this one was dialed, regardless what caller ID. Caller ID, you use it to say if, let's say, one of my big providers or like my biggest provider is calling, I want the call to go directly to purchasing department. I don't want it to go through anything, then I put it here. But here it's the number that was called. So if I pick up my phone and dial 12123912030, this rule will apply now because this is the number. Now, in many cases, people will say, listen, I really don't care what number was called. I want everything to go this route. Then I just put dot, and that's it. That means whatever was called coming to this trunk, put it here. But now let's put it back. And here, what's the default destination? Okay, I'm gonna make it simple for now and say if this number was called, take it to extension 20, and then I will hit save and apply. Okay, now actually, I'm going to use my computer to make a call to this number using Google Voice, because all my phones here are on the same system, which is fine, but also I want to try it from any number in the world that may call me. So I'm going to make a call right now, and here you go. So,
the reach is unavailable. Leave your message at the tone. Press pound when finished.
Okay, so basically it did not go through, and I have to check why. I'm gonna go here to active calls. Okay, so I'm gonna check on the server. Let me call it again and see the active calls if it comes here anyway.
Reach is unavailable. Leave your message at.
Okay, let me check what's going on with. Okay, so it looks like when I created the account on our server, I did not put any money, so I just put $1 there. And now it should be working. Let me dial the number again. I'm going to see the active calls. Okay, so I'm calling from MKN Group now, not from Google Voice, to extension 20. And the call, you can hear the phone is ringing. But the phone on my desk calling like the other phone there. Okay, so I can actually...
The person at extension 2.
I, canceled the call or stopped the call from the PPX. Okay, so that's the first simple way of doing things. Just take the call to the receptionist or to one extension. Now let's make it a little bit more interesting. So let's say, okay, I want to create a ring group. And what does that mean is I want extension 20 and 21 to ring at the same time. So it's very easy. I just go to ring groups. I will call it, well, because I have only 2 extensions, so I will say ring all, the name of the group. This is the extension. Everything in the asterisk system must have an extension number. So the ring group must have an extension. The IVR must have an extension. So in all cases, I'll leave the default. I'll say I want extension 20 and 21 to be part of this group. And here, we'll come back, LDAP. This is the phone book. Is it like, you know, how do you want to ring? Is it in order? That means 20, then 21, or simultaneously? Okay, most likely people want it simultaneously. Is there a music on hold when somebody calls? Most of the people say no, but I mean, I'll just put a warning if music on hold is not none using inbound route via analog trunk. Okay, that does not apply here. And if there's a custom prompt, like you want to record, okay, please hold on, I'm transferring your call or something, and ring time out on each member. So because they're ringing simultaneously, that means 60 seconds, both phones ring at the same time. If we put it in order and leave this 60, it's going to ring 60 seconds on the first phone, then another 60 seconds on the second phone. But, you know, I'll put it simultaneously, and I just put this to 20 seconds, which is around 4 rings. Auto record means any call coming to this ring group, I want to record it. If you want to replace the display name, if you check this one, you can replace the display name there. Enable destination is actually very good, because now let's say both phones were ringing together for 20 seconds. Now nobody answered. Where do you want to take the call? I would say just take it to a voicemail of extension 20. Maybe it's my receptionist. So basically, again, here's what I did quickly. Just created a new ring group. I called it all. I added extensions 20 and 21. You know, I want them to ring together like simultaneously. And I had a music on hold for the caller. And then it's going to ring 20 seconds. Then if nobody answers, it's going to go to extension 20, and all calls coming to this ring group will be recorded. And I'm going to hit save, apply changes. I'm going to go back to the status page. So I'll show you when I call the number now, 20 and 21 are going to ring together. Active calls, and I'm going to call.
Extension is unavailable. Please leave your message after the tone. When done, hang up.
Okay, that means I did something not right. 1 second, let me check if I did. Okay, oh, I know what I did. You know what I did? I created the ring group, but I did not go to the inbound route and put it there, because it's still going to one extension. So I will go to the inbound route, and instead of it going to extension 20, I'm going to put it to ring group all. That means both of them are going to ring. Okay. Let me go to the system status dashboard, make sure it's still registered. Active calls, and maybe I need to do something here because I have multiple PPXs connected in the office. Maybe I have to disconnect all of them and keep just the UCM. Let me try one more time. And here you go.
Extension is unavailable. Please leave.
Yeah, most likely that's what's happening. So let me go and disconnect the other PPXs, and I'll be back with you. Okay, I'm back. We have disconnected other PPXs, and also I had to change the number because looks like the number I have chosen for some reason wasn't working, or In all cases, I apologize, but the only thing is I had to change the trunk, and now I'm using this 727 area code number. So if you go to the inbound route, you're gonna see this one, outbound route. I have to go and change the local. The prefix should be 727 and save. Okay, and now with the new number I'm gonna call, and if you remember, it should go to the ring group, but the caller should hear, like, you know, the default on hold music. So let's see if that is gonna work. So I'm gonna make the call again from Google Voice. Of course, calls from Google Voice shows as anonymous.
Extension is unavailable. Please leave your message after the tone. When done, hang up or press the pound key.
That's not good. Let me see what's going on. Okay, looks like now it's fixed. All right, let me make the call. Okay, so you see I'm calling the number from Google Voice. Now I'm hearing the on-hold music, and here you can see anonymous, which is the Google Voice number, is calling these two extensions. I'm just gonna wait until it goes to
the person at extension 20 is unavailable. Please leave your message after the tone. When done, hang up or press the pound key.
Okay, so basically, as we programmed it, if nobody answers, it's gonna go to the voicemail of extension 20. Okay, now let's move one step ahead and go to the IVR. The IVR is where, like, it's a digital receptionist. So basically, instead of going to an extension directly, you're gonna hear like a prompt saying, "Thank you for calling MKN Group. Let's say for sales, press 1, for marketing, press 2, and you decide where you want to do it. Okay, so the first step is to create that IVR. I'm gonna use our IVR as MKN Group for now. So if I go to voice prompts under PPX settings, I go to voice prompts, English, and then I go to custom prompts. What I'm gonna do is I have to upload a custom prompt that I have created. I'm gonna choose the file, and it's gonna be you don't see, like, the files, but I will pick one quickly, and I'm going group, and okay, so I have downloaded it, and here you can record on top of it, or you can play it. If you want to play it, you should play it on one of the extensions, but again, it was recorded before. So now we have the prompt that we have registered. We're going to listen to it when we call the number. Now we go back and create the IVR. Under call features, we go to IVR and create a new one. Of course, it's going to get an extension. I'll leave it as default. I'm going to call it the main IVR. And here, when somebody called that IVR, you can decide actually But option, in addition to dial 1, 2, 3, 4, you're going to allow them, for example, to dial an extension directly. So if the caller knows the extension number while the IVR is playing, they can key in the extension number. Actually, they can make a paging from outside if you allow them. These are the things that let's keep it on extensions for now. And here is like, you know, black white list. There is no black or white list for now. Digit timeout, that means between pressing one key and the other, the system is going to wait 3 seconds before the system believes that you're done pressing. And response timeout, that's after the IVR is played, and then it's waiting for you to press a key or any or combination of keys. It's going to wait for 10 seconds. And it's going to also response timeout repeat loop. So if you do not do anything and wait and the 10 second expires, then it's going to loop for 3 times. It's going to go again if you do the same thing again and again. And the same thing if you put an invalid entry. Let's say you press 9 and 9 is not one of the listed options here. Now regarding the listed options, we go here. And you tell exactly what you want. If somebody presses 0, I want to take it to extension 20. If somebody presses 1, I'm going to take it to the ring group, which will be all. That's just for example, okay? Here, timeout, everything like the 3 loops, timeout, everything. Where do you want to take it? You know, just go to custom prompt, goodbye, and hang up, or if somebody cannot determine what he wants, one of the callers, I can say, okay, I give them the option to leave a voicemail on extension 20. And the same thing, if they keep pressing invalid keys, I'm going to give them the option to leave a voicemail on extension 20. Now, okay, we created the IVR, and now, not like last time, I will not forget to go to inbound. Now take the call instead of to the ring group to the IVR. So I go here, say when the call comes in to this number, take it to the main IVR, save, apply changes. And okay, so let's see, let's try to call in the number and see if we're gonna get the message. Okay, make a call. Let's go.
Extension is unavailable. Please leave your message after the tone. When done.
Action-wise, maybe after we apply, it takes a while to pick up.
Welcome.
Okay, you know what happened? It worked, but it gave me a different prompt. You know why? I'll go back. It's good that but by the way, the first thing after you hit apply the PPX, it goes offline for a few seconds. This is one of the complaints that we continuously receiving from the customers or resellers, because people doing the installation, they don't want to wait. They hit apply, they want to make a test. The same thing that happened here. So if you do not wait long enough, it's actually disconnected. So anyway, I'm going to go back, and the IVR is using the wrong prompt. Okay, why here? Because I did not change the prompt. So I go here, now I change this one to the one that I have uploaded. Hit save, apply changes, and now I'm gonna wait the 3-4 seconds because I don't want to get that extension is not available. Okay, let's wait a little bit and then make a call and go.
Extension is unavailable.
Yes,
please leave your.
Still did not wait long enough. Actually, again, I'm getting lots of complaints about this, but you know.
Thank you for calling MKN Group. If you know your party's extension, you may dial it at any time during this message. For sales, please press 1. For support, please press 2. For operator, please press 3. Or stay on the line and someone will be with you shortly.
I'm going to press 1, and 1, as far as I remember, it takes you to the ring loop, which is 64, and now 2 extensions are running. Okay, so basically, you know, we've done the IVR thing. Now, as promised, one of the things that I'm going to do is, I'm going to do 2 things actually right now. First, nested IVR. Nested IVR is like, you know, you can take an IVR to another IVR. So I'm going to go here to call features, not call features, go to PBX settings, voice prompts, custom prompts. I'm going to upload another one, and that one is going to be, let's say, our support prompt. Okay, and now it's uploaded. Then I'm going to go create an IVR based on this prompt, create a new IVR, and I'm going to call it support. And now this time I'm not gonna forget to change the prompt to the support prompt and keep all these as default. Now I'm just gonna say, okay, basically the IVR says the best way to reach support is to email, blah blah blah. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna say, after all these are exhausted, or if you press any invalid key, just say goodbye and hang up. So let's hit save, apply changes, and we're gonna go back to the old IVR, the main one, and let's say, I think it says for support press, doesn't matter, like, you know, we can't change it anytime. Let's say we're gonna have 4. So if they press 4, we're gonna take it to another IVR, which is the support IVR. Remember, 4. Apply changes. So now we've done nested IVRs, like from one IVR to another IVR. Hopefully you don't have to wait long until we make the call. Let's see if it worked.
Extension is unavailable.
Yeah. Sorry, we have to wait a little bit more. I'm gonna go see the active calls now.
Thank you for calling MKN Group. If you know your party's extension, you may dial it at any time during this message. For sales, please press 1. For support, please press 2.
I pressed 4 because we programmed it to 4. Now,
the best and the fastest way to get support is to email support@mkn-group.com. If you would still like... I am sorry, that's not a valid extension. Please try again.
Okay, here's another one.
I am sorry, that's not a valid extension. Please try...
Here's the third one.
Goodbye.
See, after 3 loops of invalid, it went goodbye, which what we wanted. Well, we can program to do anything. Okay, the other thing I want to do, which is very important, people asking about it all the time, is what... Now, here's the difference between having a VoIP trunk and analog lines. Basically, analog line, each analog line has a number, has a cover, or if you're using PRI, it's a different story. But basically, VoIP is different. VoIP, like let's say we're talking about just $45, 10 channels. You can have as many numbers as you want on the same trunk. And then based on the number that was called, you can take the call to a different way. So I'm going to go to our system and I'm going to pick another number and assign it to the same trunk. And just stay with me for a second. So I'm going now to our system, I'm adding a new number and I'm assigning it to the same trunk, which is something possible when you do VoIP. So here 492. Okay, I'm just programming it in the system. Save. All right. Sorry, I just want to add a number to the same trunk and make sure anytime a call is made, we send from our server at its VoIP time, we send the called number so the customer can decide where he wants to take the call. Okay, so I added the number. I'll go to the inbound route one more time and see, I'm going to create another one with different number. Now I can add it here, but it's going to go to the same route that this one, so no point. So I'm going to add a new one and I'm going to say, here's the number. So this is the number that will go, let's say I'm going to take it to the support IVR. Just, I can take it to an extension anywhere. So I'm going to take it only to the support IVR. So when we dial this number, we will bypass the main IVR. Hit save, apply changes. And by the way, see that underscore there? You don't have to put it yourself. The moment you put the number save, the system will put it there for you. Now we have a new number that I'm going to call, but again, I'm going to wait like a few seconds. And I'm going to go to the status page. I'm going to go to active calls. And let's see if that was done. See, this is the number I'm calling.
Thank you for calling MKN Group. If you know your party's extension, you may dial it at...
Okay, so it did not work. It went directly to the IVR. Let me see why. Could be something wrong I did. So if I go back to the inbound route and see, basically it says go to the IVR support when this number is called. So here it's good, no problem. And let me check on our system if we're sending that. Oh, actually the problem is here. In our system, we're not sending the called number. So again, one of the things that if you face that, you may want to contact your carrier and say, listen, I mean, I'm not getting the calls, or I mean, I'm not getting the system is not distinguishing which number was called, and then something has to be done on the carrier side. I'm just now double checking if we have this done correctly now. And yes, it's done. Let's give it a few seconds to update, and then we're almost done with the basic things. Then I'm gonna go over a few things here in the menu to show you, like call forwarding, time conditions, and all that stuff. Basically, like, this thing can take for hours and hours. I'm already like 53 minutes. I'm trying not to go over an hour because I know it becomes really boring. We'll see. Okay, so make calls, paste. Hopefully this one will work.
The best and the fastest way to get support is to email support@mkn-group.com. If you would still like to speak with someone in support, please stay on the line.
Okay, so it worked. It went to 701. So that's an example how we can route the call based on the called number. So that's good when, let's say, a company has 100 employees, let's say the VPs or like the managers, each one will have a direct line without going to any IVR or receptionist or anything. That's how we do it. Like, we use the same trunk and then a different inbound route based on the code number as we did here. One of the things that we can do for the extensions here is if we go to features, we can forward unconditional. So for example, I can, let's say I am the system administrator, somebody went for a vacation. I can actually transfer the call to his cell phone, custom number, put his cell phone here, or I can transfer to his assistant on another extension. And the forwarding can be unconditional, means the moment any call hits 20, that does not include the ring groups. If the call is going to a ring group that contains extension 20, these rules are not going to apply. It only applies when only 20 is being called. So again, like, I can take it to an extension. No answer. If it rings, let's say for a specific time, then we take it to which extension, and I'll show you where, or if it's busy. Now, the ring out time, which is the time that it should ring before we transfer the call or do anything, is, where is the ring time out? Ring time out. It should be, it's features here. Basically, if there is no ring time out, it's gonna ring forever. So, if the call is going to this extension. So here, let's say we can put a time out of 25 seconds, which is 5 rings. Okay, so that's one of the things that you can do per extension. Let me see, we have 4 minutes left that we can do a few things. Oh, SIP settings. One of the things that I noticed that people are complaining about is we register the trunk, we can make outgoing calls, but we cannot receive incoming calls. This has something to do with the NAT. So we go to PPX settings, SIP settings, then we go to NAT. Here, put the internal IP address of your PPX. In this case, 192.168.2.214. Add. And this is the subnet, which is 255.255.255.0, so it's 24. Now, the external host is the public IP address of your system, of your network. Now, if you don't have a public IP, you may go and buy a dynamic DNS and put it here. And again, it really depends lots of times on the situation in your network. If you notice, it worked here, received calls without even we putting this here. In some complicated networks, you have to put these here. And also it depends on the router, it depends on your internet provider. So if you face a problem with incoming calls, no audio for incoming calls only, then this is where you have to worry about. Okay. Music on hold. Many people say, I want my own music on hold. You can, of course, all the time do that. By the way, after I applied changes, the PPX restarted because I changed something in the NAT which is related to networking. So the PPX now is in restarting. In all cases, I believe I'm gonna stop here for now. As I said, if you need more help, you can call us. And we can help you setting up your PPX. Again, you may consider like a different type of PPX, more stable with more like 3-year warranty. Here it's also the iSpeaker, which is a SIP pager for 3-year, very, very good pricing for this one. And again, here's our phone number. Where is it? I thought I put it here. Here. Okay, so here's our phone number. This is our Canadian number. And there is, of course, our US number, which is this one, 716-778-3888. And we'll be happy to assist you with the configuration. And again, it's a good idea to check our VoIP services, one of the most affordable but high quality VoIP services in the market. And again, I thank you very much for listening to me, and thank you for the people sending the positive feedback and calling me to thank me about that. Thank you very much, and hopefully this will help you with your PPX setup. Thanks.